Welcome to BitBoy Crypto.
We can't let anybody else find out who we are. My eyes are up here. I personally would not advise that strategy. Bugs Bunny or Tweety Bird, how to make money in crypto.
Oh, you're killing me.
Welcome to BitBoy Crypto, the People's Channel, home of the BitSquad, the largest and greatest crypto community in all the interwebs. You guys have really shown that over the last few days. No channel works harder, keep you in the know about crypto than this one right here. Guys, it's 11:30 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. We come to you live every single day at that time. Today is Friday the 13th, and it's scary out there. Scary that we're in green today, am I right? The prices are going up. Man, I tell you what, I hope that you, got all the crypto that you needed, and then, we're going to all-time highs by the end of the week, and we're real excited about that. We can't wait to see it. Guys, here's what I would like to tell you. My father-in-law sent me a little text this morning, and I thought it was so funny. He said, I was just listening to NPR. What is that? National something radio?
National Public Radio.
National Public Radio. And someone on there said, it's a terrible time to buy Bitcoin because it's down 35%. What? How does that even make sense? You can just ask me to move it, TJ. I can move it. I can see it too, and I'll move it. So it is. TJ is like a little elf up here.
You can twist it a little bit.
He was just up here. Twist it this way?
Other way.
Ooh, you like it like that?
Yeah, perfect.
TJ,
if you really want to be particular, you can touch the corner of the monitor to the corner of the
here.
A little more. Push it. No, twist the other way. And stop. Perfect.
That was really fun.
Yeah.
It's a bad time to buy Bitcoin because it's 35% down. And that's idiotic thinking, of course. But what I'd like to tell you guys about altcoins right now, I've had a lot of people over the last few days reach out to me and say, hey, what happened to Terra Luna? Is it time we have to upgrade the starting time on YouTube? What does that mean?
I have no idea.
What does that mean? We were on time today, 11:30 a.m. Is XRP or Cardano, can the same thing happen to them that happened to Terra Luna, right? And I don't really know how to answer that question other than to say, no, I don't believe so.
Right.
But I think we also might have said the same thing about Terra Luna last week, right? We said definitely a top 20 coin. We just said that last week or earlier maybe Monday.
Yeah, it was something we were talking about here a little bit as it was happening, Johnny, Drew, and I in the morning when we were kind of prepping the stream yesterday. And it's something we say a lot on this show that, Bitcoin store value, pretty much every altcoin is speculation. Ethereum slowly trying to establish itself outside of that, but still very speculative on Ethereum. If they were to mess up the ETH2 merge,
yep, you said it,
then it could still happen to Ethereum. So it can plausibly happen to almost any project, even Bitcoin potentially. But the longer the project survives and builds and gets ecosystem, the lower the likelihood of that happening is. Yep. So Luna, being very new, trying very new things, obviously has a higher...
It's an experiment.
Yeah, a higher percentage chance of going awry.
Ever since... Go back up. Ever since time change, it says show is starting at 10:30 a.m. and I'm in EST.
Maybe that's on the schedule on YouTube.
Yeah, maybe. I'm not sure. I don't know. We'll maybe look into that. If anybody else in that same error, let me know. But anyways, guys, let's go ahead. What a thumbnail today. Jerome Powell. I cannot believe this guy got confirmed for another term. How look at that thumbnail. What a great thumbnail. How bad do you have to be at your job to get fired from the government?
Very bad.
Right. It's a meme, right? We all know the people that work in the DMV. And I'll be honest with you. I've had some bad experiences at DMV. I recently went to it wasn't the DMV, but it was the tag office in Cartersville.
Mm-hmm.
They're very nice, very friendly, very quick, very efficient. But in general, we all know what the memes are around people that work, those types of government jobs, but they're not all that way. There's a reason why you get people that are very low motivation. There's a reason why some of those people are very low motivation because they have no incentive to keep their job because they can't really get fired.
Mm-hmm.
Government jobs, the reason why people want to get these is they're so hard to lose. And, Jerome Powell in charge of the Fed, in the middle of the gigantic disaster that we have of inflation, which he's responsible for, somehow gets to keep his job. How does that make any sense? Absolutely insane. So we're going to be looking at the markets, though. The markets have bounced back pretty good today. We told you that there would be a bounce. We told you that 2 days ago. Yesterday, of course, we didn't get the bounce, but today we did get the bounce. So we're going to be looking at that here in just a second.
Feel good.
Go ahead.
Well, we were talking about all our friends that were talking about buying yesterday. If they bought some alt dips, you got some pumps today. That's for sure.
Yeah, but the question is, are there going to be better prices? And I think I really am feeling like there is. I just told somebody yesterday about, was that the bottom? I would say I would put about a 20% to 25% odds that was the bottom.
Right.
But much more likely is we do have more downside based on history. But there is a chance that was the bottom. If you look at the fall, it was about 50%. If you look at what happened in 2018 when we had the fall to the bottom, it was also about 50% in a short period of time. Look at the May crash. That was 50%. So, I think there is a chance, but we also don't want to, pump your heads with dreams that aren't true. Definitely is still a strong possibility that we do have. Look, I believe, and it pains me to say this, and it doesn't seem to make logical sense based on the adoption rate and where we know people buy Bitcoin at. But I think there is a very strong likelihood that we go down to $10,300. I think there's a strong likelihood that happens. It sounds insane. I know it sounds absolutely insane.
What price?
$10,300. Exactly 85% down from the top. That's exactly what we experienced the last 2 cycles, and we are exactly on track to experiencing that on this cycle. The only hope, I think, that was the bottom is the argument for this false top theory, which we're going to be doing a video on next week. We're going to lay all that out to you. And if that's the case, if the second top in November was basically a false top of the market, then what we could potentially see is that was a bottom, because that's about 1 year after that, after the May crash. So
I tend to believe that wasn't the bottom either, like that we do have further to go, but I still feel like that was a good time to buy. Anywhere between 20 and 30, I would, if people ask me, should I be buying, I would say now, yes, averaging, don't use all of it, So for example, Brian was telling me this morning, he around 47K, he sold about 50% of his stack. So he had 50% of his stack at 47 in stables. Yeah. Yesterday he took of that 50% of that stack, so 25% of his total profit, and put it back in. Now, if it goes lower, he'll put the remainder in, but getting in at 28, what he took out at 47 puts him in a much better position.
Yeah. Well, I want to show you guys this, because this is kind of what you're talking about here, which is the fact that this is right here, okay? This is the 2018. What in the world is that? That is not what I meant to do there. Okay. Wow. Okay, I don't know how Frank did this, but there you go, Frank. You got these nice little arrows, okay? That right there is the 2018 bear market pretty much, okay? Now, when you look at the bottom of this was the bottom. Okay, outside of the pandemic crash, this area right here. Anything you bought in this zone, I hate this little arrow, Frank, you really screwed me here. Everything that you would have bought in this little zone here is a great buy.
Right.
Anything in that zone is a great buy. Okay, so whether you got in here, whether you got in here, or whether you got in here, once it went back above this level right here, like those were all great buys. Everything in here was a great buy. I think that's potentially what we're looking at now, but by all stretches of the imagination, I want you to hear me. You need to keep money on the sidelines in case we do get the 85% drop to 10,300. It's fine to scale now, and I tried to talk about this. I tried to talk about this yesterday on Around the Blockchain. I don't know if I really said it the best way, but the point is, if you're getting in around now, you have a lot of upside.
Mm-hmm.
If the price drops considerably, you don't have to have as much money set aside to put in at a $10,000 Bitcoin to get the same kinds of returns. So if you're thinking about your investment, your investment bubble, how much you have to decide to put in, you need a smaller amount to try to get in at the lowest prices because you get a lot more bang for your buck at that value. Because I'm telling you, $10,300 sounds like blasphemy right now. I would have said 3 months ago, that's impossible. But I'm telling you, the timing for us to put out this cycle video this weekend was so incredible because we mapped it out 2 weeks ago and we had some problems where it didn't come out. And so this week we sat down to hammer it out, and we hammered out exactly what we thought was going to happen. And I told Nick on Monday afternoon, I said, Nick, we got to be careful though, because if something happens, if the price of Bitcoin collapses between now and Friday, like we'd have to readjust this video. And then Tuesday, the entire bottom dropped out. And so we had to go back and readjust again. And the interesting thing was, between 2 weeks ago and today, we were 22% ahead of schedule for this bull market. We were at a 22% higher price point than Bitcoin had traditionally been at. Now, we're exactly on track for the 85% drop. It's absolutely insane. So, and TJ, I forgot to tell you this. This is big news.
Oh, nice.
I'm on Bloomberg at 12.
Oh, okay.
So Frank, you're going to be coming on at 12, and I'm going to go do that. It's actually 12:10, so you'll have about 15 minutes. By the way, so we're going to skip by charts here in a second. We got 5,700 viewers here. We got 803 likes. Let's go ahead and do me a favor. Smash the like button. It's the number one thing that you can do. Number one, can you get rid of that guy? He said like 7 things like that. Remove him from the chat permanently. Idiot. Yeah, thank you. Permanent. Thank you. Guys, we're going to take a look at Market Watch here. I forgot what I was saying. I lost my train of thought. But here we go. Let's check it out. All right, coming here to CoinMarketCap, we are at $1.313 trillion. We're actually slightly below where we were yesterday at this time. I guess we had a slight pump, but the volume is down about 40%. We're coming in at 136 billion. Still a lot here. Luna, basically the biggest upside out of any crypto right now. Dear God, I would heavily say no.
Yeah, I would disagree.
I think Terra Luna is 100% dead. I think it's dead. So I would steer clear. Just J-Chain's put $200 in last night at a fraction of a penny. That's fine. You want to throw $200 in, you got a lot of money. If you lose it, you lose it. Take a flyer on it. I can get behind that. I would not put any serious investment money into Luna ever again. 19.4%. ETH gas is going to cost you 45 Paraguays to send an ETH transaction. Bitcoin right now holding tough above $30,000, $30,392, up 3.25% since yesterday. A lot of good altcoin bounces here. How low did Ethereum get yesterday? Do we know what the low on this is? 7-day. 1,800. Wow. 1,800 looks like was the low there. So no, 1763.
It's interesting. It went, the key level was, the 28-ish range for Bitcoin and the 18-ish range for Ethereum. They both went a little below, but definitely saw huge buy pressures at those levels.
Yeah.
How low do you think Ethereum could go? I mean, if you're talking a $10,000 Bitcoin, you're sub 1,000 ETH.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. Well, I mean, just simple math on that. I mean, right now we're at 30. If it dropped 60%, 60% drop from, you'd be looking about an $800-900 Ethereum. Yeah, that'd be insane.
That'd be wild.
Guys, it's hard for me to sit here and you guys know one thing I talk about a good bit is being intellectually honest, okay? I hate people that are intellectually dishonest. It drives me insane. I'm only going to tell you, can you tell them to keep it down out there, please? No offense. We like our people that work here, but it's a little loud out there.
It was. I can hear it through the headphones.
Yeah, exactly. So the idea is that, I hate people who are intellectually dishonest that will tell you things that they don't actually believe. I have never said a thing on this channel that I didn't actually believe to be true, okay? It may not have turned out to be true, but I believed it at the time to be true. It's hard for me to get up here and from an intellectually honest standpoint and tell you I believe Bitcoin is going to $10,300. I don't believe it's going that low. However, history would suggest that it is. And right now, where we're at in the cycle and where Bitcoin is would also suggest we are right on track for that. But remember this, we were also on track for a $200,000 to $300,000 Bitcoin back in February to March of last year. And we didn't even get close to that. We may see the same thing happen here on the downside, on the bear market. Tether 99.8 cents, USDC at $1. We used to not even mention the pegs, but now I think we need to. Binance got back up to 322 yesterday. Wow. Showed a very strong recovery. It came back to earth a little bit. XRP back to 43 cents. Cardano 56 cents. Thank you, Allison. Can we show Allison's hand? Allison, can you bring your hand? Thank you. Thank you, Allison. You're the best. Thank you, Allison. That's a funny bit on the show. I like that. It's a daily thing now, Allison. Yes. Solana, $53. Is there another hand? Thanks, Allison. Thank you, Allison. Yeah, you can't do bunny ears. Then you would be on camera. Your worst nightmare. Okay. All right. Let's talk about here's Friday the 13th, guys. There you go. Where do you stand on Friday the 13th movies? Do you like them?
I don't know. I've never been a big horror genre person.
Yeah.
So
I was a lot more when I was younger.
Yeah.
My wife has got me off of them.
I don't have strong feelings one way or the other, to be honest.
My wife does not watch horror movies at all. So I don't watch horror movies at all anymore. I used to watch them a good bit.
Yeah.
Bitcoin price sees hell of a reversal candle as 168,000 Bitcoin leaves exchanges. So right now, people are feeling like the price is not going lower. And I will tell you this. I think that if we do go lower, I think if we do head back to $10,300 or we head back below 30K again, I believe it will not be soon. I think basically what we've seen at this point is the max pain during this time. I think that if we do go below, I think it'll probably be, 4, 6, 8 weeks from now. What are your thoughts on that, TJ? You agree?
Yeah, I tend to. It's hard to say when because I didn't think we were going to get to 28.5 as fast as we did.
Leave that on there over there.
Yeah,
I didn't either. That's the thing that's really thrown us.
Yeah, so it's really hard for me to predict the next few timelines, but I do think we will range in a lower time frame for about 6-ish months, kind of like we did before. Was the 28 that bottom of that range, or was it the start to find the top of it?
Yeah,
I don't really know.
That's what's scary.
Yeah, because if we get the next drop soon, I think we'll range between wherever that bottom is and 28. Yeah. If we hold this for a while and the 28 establishes itself as very strong support.
No, I think we need 30 to establish itself as support, really. To be honest with you.
Well, yeah, if we hold these.
Such a strong psychological number. It's like anything below 30 to people, it feels like worst case scenario. Above 30, you feel like, oh, it was there for a while. Right. It hovered. Because we had such a short spurt below 30K last year that it's almost like as long as it pops right back above that, I think people are still going to have confidence. I think if it hovers in the 28 range for a while, I think we're going to go significantly lower quicker.
See, yeah, I tend to agree-ish. As long as it holds, I think, above 28, 30-ish, like holds those levels, it could range, I think, between 30, 35, 38 for a long time, just going up and down before maybe another quick down or something like that.
Yeah.
But if we fall soon, who knows?
Yeah, exactly. So I do want to bring up this here. Gavin Clifton says on September 9th of 2021, so last year, a quote from one of my videos was, "The next bear market will be the worst of all time. It'll be the greatest buying opportunity for crypto assets in history."
There you go.
There you go. Looks like potentially we might be heading there. And I'm so excited for people that missed it before. I'm so excited. We're going to get a whole new level of crypto evangelists coming in after this. I'm so excited to bring more people in this ecosystem, to bring more people in crypto. Well, what a great opportunity for people out there. And the reason why I said that, my exact reasoning was as we head towards a deflationary economy, which is where we're heading right now, I believe that this month was probably the last uptick in CPI that we're going to see. I think we're going to start feeling the tightening, and it's going to slowly start ticking down, and that inflation is going to head back down to 2 to 3%, or maybe potentially lower. In the bull run, the value of the dollar was going down. The value of Bitcoin was going up. That gave it a slingshot effect. Now, the value of the dollar is going up, and the value of Bitcoin is going down, giving it the opposite slingshot effect. And that's what I based on that. So far, you got to admit, that's exactly what we're seeing. So nothing keeps Bitcoin bull run down for long. What? Multi-year bear markets, like that doesn't keep it down for long. What a freaking stupid statement from Cointelegraph here. BTC price action is back above 30K after gains of 30%, after 24-hour gains of 30%. I guess from 25 to 30 is almost 30%. Is that right? 8,000 would be 33%. That's a 6,000 gain. It's got to be closer to 25. Let's see here. Data from Cointelegraph Pro and TradingView confirmed 24-hour gains at 30%. Okay. Heck of a reversal candle. Crypto Bullet tweeted. You guys can see here. Look, he put a little Bitcoin Bullet back here. It is Dragonfly Doji on the highest volume of the year. Bullish divergence on RSI. Bounce scenario still in play. And I do want to say, guys, I'm going to talk about this a lot until this video comes out, which is a video will be coming out, I believe, Thursday. When we're at VCon, we're going to put this video out on the false top theory. The false top theory, which is the second top in November, was a false top, completely manipulated. The actual end of the bull run was May. That is a scenario. And if that scenario does play out, that would be the support for the idea that this was a bottom and we do get a big bounce. So I do want to say, like, I know it sounds like I'm talking out of both sides of my mouth here, saying potential for it to go down to 10,300, also potential for it to be a bottom, but we're looking at two different scenarios, and you just had to be prepared for both. That's why it's a good time to accumulate right now. There's a chance we don't go lower. A chance. I put about 20%. I think 80% chance we're going lower. How much lower, I don't know. Maybe down to 24,000 even, maybe 22, maybe 17. Those are possibilities, but there's also a chance that that was the bottom. Why this is the first time in months we've said could be a good time to accumulate. As the dust settled on Terra Luna and UST, not everyone was convinced. The worst was over. The Bitcoin account posted that an 80% drawdown is $13,798. Why are they saying an 80% drawdown? I have no idea. The average is 85%. They should be talking about 85%, which is 10,300. They just picked an arbitrary number and said 80%. So I'm really confused on why they said that here. You can see 2012, you can see had a larger drawdown, but you can see the last two had almost exactly the same drawdown in the bear market. And really, when you look at the 2008 or 9 to 2012 cycle, or 2009 to 2013, however you want to look at it, that's an outlier. We don't really look at that time period as being relevant to the Bitcoin cycles because it was the first cycle. It wasn't a full 4-year cycle. It was from having to having, but from no having to having. When we talk about 2013 and 2017, we're talking about post-halving cycles. There was no halving in 2009. Bitcoin began. So really, these last two are what we draw most of our information from here. We also have a crypto market seeing over $100 billion in inflows in 24 hours as Bitcoin reclaims 30K. So we've got $100 billion in inflow, but we also know, we just looked at a story that said there was a lot more going in outflow. So you had the inflow to the exchanges, people getting ready to sell, and then Bitcoin bounced back. And I think a lot of people sent the money back out. And I think that's what we saw. So the price of altcoins has increased, which has led to an infusion of cash in the global crypto market cap, which increased over 100 billion in the last 24 hours. It looks like it bottomed at 1.9 trillion, which is pretty insane. Or not 1.9, 1.19, excuse me, what that would have been. We also have this Bitcoin eyes record losing streak after stablecoin collapse. Cryptos nursed large losses on Friday when Bitcoin pinned below 30K. Set for a record losing streak as the collapse of Terra USD, a so-called stablecoin, like that, rippled through the markets. Selling has roughly halved the global market value of crypto since November, but the drawdown has turned to panic in recent sessions with the squeeze on stablecoins. But it's likely to face further tests if traders keep selling, and analysts are concerned that stress could spill over into money markets if pressure forces more and more liquidation. Moving on to Luna here. Luna supply soared to 6.5 trillion coins before Terra's latest halt. Now, the reason why you have to understand that that occurred is that Frankie will look at the DXY there, Kenneth, when he comes on. He'll check that out. You have to understand the way Luna works with its elasticity of the supply and with UST, the stablecoin. And I'm not going to sit here and talk to you guys like I'm an expert on the UST stablecoin. If you actually asked me to explain the algorithmic way that the supply contracts and expands to be able to match the dollar peg, I can't do it. I don't even know, to be honest with you. All I know is generally the way that it works. They had to print more Terra Luna to try to get the peg back. The supply of Terra Luna is based on the peg of UST. And so they had to print more. And then when it got out of control, they said, hey, let's pause the blockchain, is basically what happened, which I guess they borrowed that from Solana. So circulating supply of Luna surged to more than 6.5 trillion by the time the Terra blockchain was halted for a second time in an attempt to salvage the collapsing ecosystem. The supply of Luna was only around 340K. And guys, I see a lot of people talking about how much, I need to move it over.
Yeah. Or zoom out a little bit.
Yeah. Sorry. There we go. I see what you're saying. A lot of people were talking about how much money Rand and George have lost on Luna. I mean, they were apparently like big in that ecosystem.
Yeah. Carl said he lost 1.6 million.
Yeah. Must be nice when you're a billionaire to be able to lose that much. I don't know if he's a billionaire or not. That was off of a TikTok that said he was. Maybe he is. I don't know how much Mike Carl has. No, he has more money than I do by a long shot.
Yeah.
Almost all the other crypto YouTubers have way more money than us, which is funny.
Yeah.
But it's okay. We're long-term game. We're a long-term game.
People's channel.
We're the people's channel. You know, we're just common folk, just like you.
Just out here hustling.
We're out here hustling. TJ, the size of an average male American. I'm only slightly above the size of an average male American, as you know.
But we're both way stronger.
Way stronger than the average American for sure. So I'm trying to get 315 bench while weighing 200 pounds. I got 10 more pounds to go. So, But what I would say here is that this is the reason why I tell people, they say, man, you believe in XRP. You love XRP. Why don't you just go all in on XRP? What? Ethereum, you love Ethereum. Why don't you just go all in on Ethereum? This is why you diversify. You can be very confident in a project, but it's smarter to hedge and diversify no matter what you feel like the returns are. I believe 100% the best risk-reward ratio out there that exists in crypto today is XRP. And I believe that number 2 is Ethereum. That's what I believe. I have more Ethereum than I have XRP. Why? Because number 1, Ethereum, great chance to succeed. Number 2 would be, there's a big unknown with XRP. We have this SEC lawsuit. We believe it's going to be sorted out. I believe it for sure. But just in case, hedge your bets. Hedge your bets. It's very important in crypto. And I know George and Rand, and I know they're hedged too. I know they might have lost a lot of money. So I got, it's 12:10. I got sound check at 12. So okay. I'm fine. Yeah, I'm fine. Thank you for that, though. On Tuesday, the network issued 40 million more Terra Lunas. The supply has increased 17,000 times. Supply shock has been pounced upon by Bitcoiners who point at Bitcoin supply with fixed emission. We know that Bitcoin has far superior tokenomics to Terra. Terra co-founder's wife seeking police protection as Luna collapses to zero. According to a report by South Korean business media outlet Money Today, the wife of Terraform Labs, Do Kwon, has filed a police report after an unidentified person broke into her apartment and rang the doorbell this evening. Kwon's spouse has now filed for police protection. Guys, this shouldn't be a thing where people are blaming Do Kwon for this. That's just the way I feel about it. Look, if you went all in on Terra and you did not take profits, it is your fault. You should have taken profits on an asset that was up multiple tons of X's. Okay? And you should have diversified that. And if you have one coin in your portfolio that takes a catastrophic loss, we lost $80,000 on it. If you have one coin that gives your portfolio such a catastrophic loss that you become homicidal or suicidal, that is your fault. You did it wrong. You did it wrong. I'm not saying he's without blame. He will get some responsibility here. But what I'm saying is these people should not have to fear for their life. So, all right, you want to come on up, Frank? Okay, and then you might have to do the Powell story and the
We'll figure it out. Good luck on Bloomberg. Yeah. Tell them what's up.
What's going on, guys? Hope you are all having a wonderful Friday as we are getting a Bitcoin bounce. Hey, we knew a bounce was coming at some point. Nothing goes up forever. Nothing goes down in a straight line. So, there is going to be, we were saying there's going to be a bounce at some point. I think I brought this up on this stream. We were looking for, I'll pull it up when we look at the charts, but people were asking, am I in a long? Am I in a long? And I told them that not quite yet. And I kind of pointed out on the charts what I would be looking for to actually enter into a long. Now, yesterday was a little bit of a crazy day for me content-wise. I actually had to film a 2-part video yesterday, and then I had 3 live streams to do. And then after the 3rd live stream, I actually had a meeting about something I don't want to talk about yet. But yeah, so I missed my entry on this long, but I'm not freaking out. I'm not FOMOing in. What I'm doing at this point is just waiting for a good short opportunity, right? You don't want to FOMO. If you miss your entry, you don't want to FOMO in. That's really important. Yeah. And then real quick, before I jump into the charts, I just want to talk really quickly about what Ben was just talking about talking out of both sides of your mouth. People, TJ, maybe you could touch on this too. People don't like when YouTubers or anybody says like, oh, well, you were bullish yesterday and now you're bearish. You're talking out of both sides of your mouth. You're saying it could go up, it could go down. And I think the reason people get mad at that is because people want the easy answer. People just want you to say, buy this, you're going to get rich in exactly this amount of time. And the truth is that's not how it works. The truth is you can use TA, you can use fundamentals to put probability on your side, but the truth is that anything can happen. And if somebody tells you that they can 100% predict this market, they're lying to you. So I recommend that you follow people who do sometimes talk out of both sides of their mouth or give you a bullish case, give you a bearish case, because that's in your best interest. You don't want somebody that, comes up here and just tells you what you want to hear, because that's beneficial for them and not beneficial for you guys. That would be could be detrimental to you guys. And it's only benefits them, right? They keep dangling the carrot in front of your face, saying it's going up, it's going up, it's going up. So they keep their numbers up on YouTube, and then they get their viewers wrecked. So just so you guys know, if you hear someone saying it could go up, it could go down, they're just telling you the truth.
Yeah, and I would agree with that. That I'm trying to think of the best way to say it. You're right. People just want the easy answer, and the people that are giving you the best information most of the time, they're presenting all sorts of different information, and we tell you what we're doing. That's the only way we can. It was like, hey, here's all the information out there. Here's all the different theories. This is what we think. This is what we're actually going to do. But you have to decide for yourself what makes the most sense for you, because we're all in a different situation. So, look, research, think for yourselves, take responsibility. But that's really what it comes down to. Everybody wants to move the responsibility for loss onto somebody else. But if they make a bunch of money, they're a genius. That's what's always so funny. If you tell somebody to buy something and it goes way up, they think they're the genius. But if it goes way down, you're the idiot. So, it comes with the territory.
Yeah, 100%. We were talking about this in the office the other day. I think even if the person doesn't, get mad and tell you that they're mad at you for, you told me to buy this, it went down. I think it just, in general, even if someone doesn't say anything about it, I think it just makes you feel better. I think it just makes them feel better that it's like, oh, it's not my fault. It wasn't my fault. Like, it just feels better to put the blame on somebody else. But guys, without further ado, let's go ahead and jump into these charts and see what is going on with the Bitcoin. All right, random line there. Started off with a nice random line. So we're gonna start over here on the daily. Now, I would go ahead and say that I basically agree with Ben. He's saying about a 20. I think there is a small chance that this could be the bear market bottom, and I mean small, right? Typically, we see an 80 to 85% drop from the top. So for this to be the bottom, I would say small chance.
When you're saying small chance, what percentage? Ben said about 20%.
I would say, probably something close, 15, 20%.
Okay.
Because I'll kind of explain why I think that, right? So right now, approximately, we are from the top 63% down. Now, let's just go back to 2017. Typically it's an 85% drop. Let's just grab these percentages really quickly. So from here to the bottom of the 2018 bear market, 84%, right? So let's keep going on. Let's go back to 2013. We're gonna have to go to another chart. Go to the Bitstamp chart. You know, I mean, maybe we're kind of, you know, I don't want to drag this on too long here, but I think it's interesting because, you know, when we measure this out right here, let's go from the very, very top, you know, approximately all the way to the very bottom. So 87, right? So 87 in 20 in here in 2014, and you know, about 85% in 2017. Now, granted, the market is maturing. It gets less volatile. We didn't see max euphoria, so maybe we don't see max pain. There's a lot of institutional money. There's a lot of things that would point to this bear market maybe not being as severe as the last ones. But I just don't know if 67% to 85% is I don't think the 67%, it might not be enough pain. You know, although we are seeing a pretty good bounce here, yeah, I would probably say about 15, 20%. Not impossible that it's the bottom, but I do really think that we could see that 80% drop, maybe. You know, maybe it would be a little bit of a less volatile drop to the bottom. But yeah, I would say small chance this is the bottom. But I generally lean. I think we have further more to go. And guys, please understand, we could back test this too. I don't know if you guys want to spend the time, but we could get a big bounce here, right? And I'm going to show you my targets of where I think we could realistically bounce to. But please understand that this could be a big bounce. We bounce anywhere from 50 to 100% on the way down in a bear market. We can go back to 2017 and I can show you. So, you know, if we bounced up 100% from here, you could imagine the euphoria. Everybody would be, oh my God, it was the bottom. It was the bottom. Let's just see where 100% would be. I think it's in the 50s. Yeah, about 51, 52K, right? So if we went back up to 51, 52K, people will be screaming all-time highs, extended cycle. We're hitting 100K before the end of the year. And, you know, just understand that in 2017, this happened. We get over 100% bounce, and then you just make a lower high, and you keep coming down. So keep that in mind. It's going to get really euphoric if we get a big bounce here. But let's go ahead and zoom in and kind of give you guys my targets for a realistic bounce. So first level I am watching here. And again, you know, I think I'm pretty sure we brought this up on the morning stream here. Before we came down and hit this golden pocket, we were kind of hanging out up here. People were asking me if I was in a long, and I said I would wait to come down and actually test this golden pocket and then look for bullish divergences on the 4-hour, the 3-hour, and the 2-hour. I even put a little, you know, predictive drawing into the Frankie Candles Discord to let everybody know, like, hey guys, I'm not longing here. I know people are starting to put in longs, but you could get wrecked. This is kind of what I'm looking for, with arrows pointing to, you know, the price coming down to that golden pocket and then forming the bullish divergence. And that predictive drawing aged very, very well, as obviously we came down to test the golden pocket. We got the bullish divergence here with the higher low on market Cipher B. You could use the RSI if you don't have market Cipher B. And then on some of these other time frames as well, the 3-hour and I believe the 2-hour too. Bullish divergences, exactly what we were looking for. Actually, I'm like extra mad I missed this entry because we were just sitting here waiting for it, and it happened perfectly. But I'm glad I was able to get it out to my community, and I hope they were able to take advantage of that. Not financial advice, but I just like to show you guys what I see on the charts. And, you know, a lot of the time, not all the time, but a lot of the time it does play out in our favor. Now, the first level I'm looking at for a possible rejection is this high volume area right here. And it's coming in at, you know, close to 32K. It's about like 31,750. You know, we could get up to 32. I think that's definitely possible. And then if we zoom in a little bit more, just so I can show you guys here, we did start to form a little bit of a bullish pennant here. You know, price comes in, starts to consolidate. We did break out, right? And now we are coming back down. We may have just broken this. Yeah, we could be testing this as support and get a bounce back up here. If we do get that, I will be looking, keeping an eye on these lower time frames for market Cipher B, trying to find these bearish divergences to see if we can get a nice little short in here. And then, you know, on the more bullish case, you know, that would be more of the, I think that's a very realistic target. It is very possible that we could kind of get a lackluster, just a little whant, come up and then just continue down. But on the more bullish side, you know, I do think, I think it is possible. Maybe we come back up and test this high, this 786 fib level right here at about 36. I think it's like 36.4. Yeah. And it's funny, I was on Debate Crypto's live stream last night, and it was me, Garrett Soloway, CVO, and it was just kind of a bunch of TA guys, and they were asking us, we were all talking about our low targets. Garrett Soloway was saying, 14, 15K is in the cards. And I'm part of the camp where, I kind of think low to mid 20s is where we would bottom out. But I don't think it's impossible to go lower than that. And we were, Gareth was showing on the charts why he thinks that. He's got very good reasoning. And then as he was showing, what he thought, he was doing a measured move from the second top of this cycle. And he was measuring it out. It drops you down to about 14K. And as he's saying that, I'm on my chart and I was like, I wonder what 85% down would be from the top. And, who knew? It comes right to the same spot. So there is confluence saying that price could go down there. So very, very interesting. So although I do subscribe to the camp, here you go, talking out of both sides of your mouth, but this is beneficial because anything can happen, right? I do think mid 20s to low 20s would be the bottom, but definitely there is some confluence saying that we could break lower. But, if we wind up breaking the 20s, then you assess some information when you get there and you change your plan accordingly. But yeah, so I would say, right here, maybe 32, we could come up here, start forming bearish divergences, come right back down. And then 786 fib level would be the next target coming in, at about 36. I do think that is possible. Less likely, but definitely possible. And then if you really want the super, super bull case, like I was just saying, we do get some pretty big pumps on the way down in a bear market. Maybe we come back up and we test this trend line right here where we rejected a couple of times. We, twice right here and then once all the way up here. So boom, rejection. Maybe we bounce back up to this trend line as test that as resistance. And that would be closer to 3940K. Like I said, that's the least, the less likely situation. But, I like to give you guys, that's the super, super bull case. That's what they were asking last night on the Debate Crypto stream. They were like, we're all talking about our low targets. Obviously, you guys are bearish, but let's see what your bullish targets are. And that's kind of what we came up with. But I think more realistically, this high volume area at about 32K would be the first stop for a possible rejection. And then again, that 786 fib level, a little more realistic of a bullish outcome. So let's
keep moving through the story. We'll check the DXY real quick for that guy, and then let's move on.
Some stories. Okay. So DXY showing strength, guys. Continuing to break out here. Let me pull up the weekly chart for this. So yeah, I mean, this thing is continuing to show strength. If you go down to the super low time frames, we are coming down a little bit. Obviously, Bitcoin is pumping, so that makes sense. But
look, as long as they're hiking rates, that's going to continue to stay parabolic.
Yeah, and as if it continues to move inversely to Bitcoin, that will obviously keep Bitcoin underwater a bit. Now, next target, we do have a fib level right here at about 109, 110, about 110, 110. Maybe we get up there. It does seem like crazy. I think that would be,
I think we'll get there.
You think we'll get there? I mean,
if they continue, the only thing that stops us from getting there is if they don't do the rate hikes.
Yeah.
But I think they will.
Yeah, I agree. This last time we were at this level was in 2002, so it would be a 10-year high. It wasn't the last time we were there was 10 years ago. So
think about this, guys. If we're the U.S. government, right? We are in a trade war with other superpowers all around the world, whether we're trading our consumption, our energy, food, whatever that is. The dollar is our number one asset. So we know we can control it. We print tons of dollars, buy all sorts of stuff with it, pull back on the printing of the dollars, run the price of the dollar right back up, crash all the assets, get back out of the dollar, back into those cheap assets, and that's how we can slowly build up our assets and kind of take from the rest of the world just by controlling the money supply. So that's exactly what we're seeing right now. As they pump up the rates, the dollar's buying power goes up. What do they do when it's at the top? They buy all the assets they just crashed, and then they start printing more money again. All the assets go through the roof, and that's how they keep kicking the can down the road.
Yeah, I also do just want to correct myself. It would be 20 years, not 10 years. I think I said 10 years. But yeah, if we do get up here, I mean, this would make a lot of sense to have Bitcoin seeing a lot more pain and, could support the, 14, 15K bottom for Bitcoin. So definitely possible. And then I'm not really going to cover the SPY. We did bounce off of, the trend line that we did show on the last stream. We were seeing if we could see a bounce there. And we came down. We retested this trend line that we broke out of recently, or a little while ago now. But we broke out and we came back down, and we did have a support line here. But as well, it is also testing this resistance line as support. So we got A nice little bounce there. Just zoom in so you guys can see it. Boom. So obviously Bitcoin is still moving up a little bit. So good stuff. All right, let's move on to some of these stories if I can find them.
Yeah, start if you can find the Powell one. They should be all in order after that.
Luna.
Or just pick one.
Swiss asset manager denies 3 billion Luna UST bailout talks. We can do this one.
Sure.
All right. Okay, so let's see. GAM Investments has called fake news on a fabricated announcement claiming it would invest $3 billion to help Luna UST recovery efforts. GAM Investments has quashed fake news reports that surfaced on Friday that claimed the Swiss asset manager would invest some $3 billion to aid in the recovery of the Terra ecosystem, including Luna and True USD UST stablecoin. An announcement published on May 12th claimed that the firm was engaging in talks with Terraform Labs to assist in recovery attempts after Terra's algorithmic stablecoin UST lost its peg to $1. Let's see. Cointelegraph has confirmed with GAM Investments that the press release was fabricated. Let's see, and that's all we got highlighted here.
Yeah, just skip through this. We've talked enough about UST. It should be right after. Soon after this. Keep going. This is the fallout from UST. Keep going until you see something about Jerome Powell.
Jerome Powell. Here we go.
There it is.
Senate confirms Jerome Powell to second term as Fed chair.
Jeez.
God. The Senate has confirmed Jerome Powell to serve another 4-year term as the leader of the Federal Reserve. Let's see. Facing inflation rates higher than 8%, the most severe since the 1980s, the Federal Reserve has increased interest rates in 2 consecutive FOMC meetings, the first time it was done so since 2006. Last week, it hiked rates by 50 basis points, or 0.5%, the steepest hike in the federal funds rate since 2000. Despite Powell's recent hawkishness, many of the Senate's dissenting votes stemmed from dissatisfaction with the high inflation.
And that just, I mean, kind of what Ben was talking about at the beginning. It's pretty ridiculous that this government officials just continue to elect the same people, even though they grossly mismanage their position. I mean, the fact that, I mean, and you could say this about a lot of the Fed chairmans and the Federal Reserve in general, and just when the whole system's broken, I guess you can't fault one guy in it because it's by design. He's set there to lie to you and do exactly what they want to do either way. But it's frustrating for us as citizens who they control our money supply and affect us on a dramatic level and just seem to be able to do whatever they want with impunity.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. And it seems that there's almost nothing we can do about it.
Yeah, there's a super chat here that says Powell gets confirmed and the first thing he does is blame inflation on workers getting raises and demand corporations to freeze wages and hiring. It's
the people's fault.
Yeah, it's our fault, guys.
Yeah. I mean, you can't make this stuff up. I mean, that's ridiculous. I'm glad he sent that super chat because that's hilarious. That's ridiculous. I mean, just blame it on the people. It's like we're the ones suffering, and they just that's your fault. It's your fault, people. That's just out of control. Do you want to just keep going through these stories? All right, let's do it. Powell says he can't guarantee a soft landing as the Fed looks to control inflation. Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell warned Thursday that getting inflation under control could cause some economic pain, but remains his top priority. Let's see. Powell said he understands the added pain that higher rates may cause, but said the Fed needs to act aggressively. Powell has come under some criticism for the Fed's delay in raising rates and halting its bond buying program, even as inflation mounted. Okay. I'm just going to read the rest of that paragraph. Moreover, at his post-meeting news conference last week, he made remarks that were interpreted as taking more aggressive steps, like a 75 basis point increase off the table. He said in the marketplace interview that he's not sure how much difference it would have made to act more quickly, adding, "We did the best we could."
And are you using the trackpad when you're doing that?
Yes.
Yeah, you can zoom that in a little bit while you're reading. Makes it easier for us. Yeah.
Gotcha. Now we see the picture. Now we see the picture clearly, and we're determined to use our tools to get us back to price stability, Powell said.
And somebody in the chat said middle class meant to be pulverized and obliterated. And if you can read between the lines of a lot of what they're doing, that's exactly true. That's the sad part about a lot of this is they do it under the guise of inclusion and equality and, you know, all this sort of stuff. But all it does is create a larger and larger divide between the haves and the have-nots. It creates that insane class separation between the ultra wealthy and basically common, you know, working class. And it's sad to watch in the United States year over year as it slowly the gap gets larger and larger and larger. And then they're up there wagging their finger at the working people saying, hey, this is all your fault. And the working people are saying, hey, this is all your fault. And then this is what causes civil unrest and then eventually revolution. So I think we're a long way away from that here in the United States, but we're definitely working against ourselves long term.
Do you think we're headed towards like a big recession?
Yes.
Where do you stand on that?
I think we are in the middle of one, and they, with the money printing, have kind of hidden that, and they're ready for people to feel the pain now. And if they do their rate hikes, if they do all the planned rate hikes for the rest of the year, there will be insane pain. I mean, what people think of with a recession, I don't think will describe it.
Right.
What most of us have experienced in our lives.
Yeah. And how do you think Bitcoin will react? Because we haven't seen crypto go through a recession, right? Because it was created right after the 08 recession. Do you think it would be good? Do you think people would run to Bitcoin because or do you think it would just be horrible for everything all around?
It will crush all assets.
Yeah, that's
now the difference is how they recover after. Mm-hmm. So I think this major recession and how bad and how painful it is, I think that is the difference between the theories of like mid to low 20s and 10K Bitcoin.
Yeah.
Because I think if they continue to do all these rate hikes, we are to go into a major recession. We do have food shortages, labor shortages, all that sort of stuff. People can't work, or then that will be probably some of the catalysts that drives us down to that 10,500.
Right.
If they and then we will recover after it. But if they back off, then maybe the pain isn't quite so bad. We hang around the 20s. But everything I'm seeing seems to show that they're ready for the United States to experience max pain, which we haven't experienced in generations.
Yeah.
So it's going to be new for our people. Even though we whine and complain a lot like we have, we haven't compared to the rest of the world. So
yeah, I would agree. I mean, people ask me all the time on my stream, they're like, you know, if we go into a recession, what do you think will happen? And they're like, do you think everyone run to Bitcoin? And I was like, I don't know about that. I think everything's pretty much going to get squashed.
Yeah.
But like you said, it's, you know, how things will recover will be interesting to see.
That's what I was going to say. They will run to Bitcoin eventually, but it won't be right there the day of. You're going to, because that's what I thought when COVID came or when the pandemic crash happened. I thought like, oh, this is it. It's setting up. Money printing's running rampant. We're having trade issues, liquidity issues. The banks are about to run out of money. Like, this is the time that everybody's going to flock into Bitcoin, and Bitcoin crashed just like everything else.
Right. Yeah,
now it recovered 10 times faster.
Yeah.
Because people started looking at that sort of stuff. But
I had the same idea when that was happening.
So,
but all right.
Boom.
No problem. Bing bong.
Bing bong.
Bing bong.
Thanks, guys. Oh, God, it was so disappointing. I was on Bloomberg, and it was really great, but there was audio issues.
Oh, no.
Nothing I was doing on my end. It kept cutting out like every 5 minutes. And I was right in the middle of talking about suicide hotline numbers.
Oh, gosh.
And that was it. And
like, well, if you need help,
they were
dial.
They were like, oh, that was such an important point and we lost your audio. I was like, oh, no. I don't know. I think I don't know. I don't think it was on my end. So it is what it is. But we enjoy when we go on things like that. So aliens are fake. Agree. 100%. Okay.
Yeah, right. And to finish my thought, Dig Dug, that's what my point. The day the crash happened, everything falls. But Bitcoin will recover stronger, and people will come to it through crisis. So if we do experience a major recession, I think it will recover strong. But in the immediate short term, Bitcoin gets hit just like all other assets.
Absolutely.
It's still very new.
Yeah, and you know what? I remember that day. Like, I remember a tweet from the Winklevoss twins, who I kind of threw under the bus yesterday for good reason, but I think that, you know, it was really correct. It was one of them, one of the twins. What would it be like being a twin? Like, people just say, oh, one of them.
Yeah.
You know? where basically when it crashed, he said, stores of value, hedgeable assets, they're not born in crashes, they're proven during crashes. And that's really what we saw is during the crash, it felt like everything else. But look at what happened afterwards. Yeah. So,
and they're proven in the crashes. Look what happened to Terra.
Yeah.
We need crashes to expose things that don't work.
Absolutely.
Because it has to work when it's going up and down.
Oh, Elian's out there wondering why don't people invest in XRP? I agree 100%. A lot of people saying they love me in the chat today. Thanks, guys. I had a very positive chat today. I haven't gone off on anybody. It's amazing. Pro-crypto Congressman Tom Emmer slams FSOC, proposes radical reform. Here's why. Future of crypto will be decided by the American people. I want to get this guy on the channel. Okay. I want to get this guy on the channel. I think I've got a connection to him. Who had him on? I think I have his email address. I think I've been in touch with his people. I'll try again, see if we can get him on. Congressman Tom Emmer, one of the most renowned advocates of building clear and appropriate regulatory designs for blockchain and crypto in the U.S., slammed the Financial Stability Oversight Council for losing the independence of partisan pressure. The future of crypto, Web3, and the ownership economy cannot and must not be dictated by any entity that is supposed to be independent, but instead takes its cues from a political agenda, which is all too common here in the world of politics and media and regulation today. It's very sad. Hot Pop Crypto says he likes Ben like a son. I think that's my father-in-law.
Hot Pop Crypto?
Yeah, pretty sure it is.
Nice.
According to him, debates about crypto regulation reveal a lack of transparency in the FSOC. Because at first I was like, who would love me like a son? I was like, oh, I think it's my father-in-law. Yeah, that would make sense. I like that. Also, he claims that FSOC might be used by politicians to circumvent legitimate procedures in this discussion. Senator Emmer introduced the FSOC Reform Act in order to bring FSOC under congressional oversight, so will advance the transparency of its activity. And we talk about people that are fakes out there in crypto that are they're trying to use crypto as is almost like a launch pad to be able to bring more supporters. And then you have people that are legit crypto supporters. And I believe Tom Emmer is of the latter. I think he really does care about this space and he does want what's best. I don't think he's one of these people who, is looking to take advantage. We also have the crypto mom, SEC's Hester Pierce, saying the new stablecoin regs need to allow room for failure. And I also believe that Hester Pierce, even though she does work for the SEC, I tend to believe that she is a good person. Now, who knows? A few years from now, we may find out that she was taking bribes and she's an awful person too. Who knows? But right now, I think she seems to be a good person, and she really also does care about crypto. Commissioner Hester Pierce, also known as the United States Securities and Exchange Commission crypto mom, has backed a regulatory framework for stablecoins that allow room for there to be failure. And that is very important, guys, because it's kind of like we talk about like Bitcoin mining. You know what I mean? I lost my wife trading with Luna.
Yeah, there's been some funny ones in there.
That's very, very sad. When you think about the environment, you think about Bitcoin and you think about Tesla, right? Like Tesla has had the opportunity to become more renewable over time and more energy efficient. They've been given room for failure and they've been able to innovate. Bitcoin is not given that same advantage. So here she's saying with stable coins that they feel like, that Hester Pierce feels like, there needs to be room for failure. They don't have to get everything right every single time as long as we're making progress. I think that's really, really, really important. She said it's been one area within crypto that's had really had quite a moment. And there's a lot of stablecoin use. And therefore, people are thinking down the road, if this gets even bigger, do we want to have some kind of regulatory framework? Pierce said she's urged the SEC to use its regulatory powers to provide exemptions to particular technologies, which she says would allow for important experimentation. We need to allow room for there to be failure because that obviously is part of trying new things, and our framework really does allow for that kind of trial and error. I hope that we will use it for that purpose. She said it's important for regulators to remember that the term covers a variety of assets. It's basically every time you say that there is a stable coin, we think $1 to $1, but that's not what stable coins are. They're just pegged to an asset or a basket of assets. One stable coin might look nothing like another stable coin. I think it's very important to approach all the conversations in crypto with an understanding that there's a lot of variation, which makes it difficult to craft a regulatory framework. I do want to say that there is a comment. Go up on Grant. Why did we not accept Grant's NFT?
No, we just haven't had a chance to get it. No,
We'll get it, Grant.
What kind of address?
Resend an email or whatever you sent. We'll figure it out. Go back up. That wasn't actually what I want to see.
What kind of NFT
right there.
and what kind of address do you need?
Down just a little bit. Right there. J Jose 93 says, maybe it's Jose 93. That's what I've been saying. BTC has not went through a recession period. Be prepared for the unexpected. Luna Rug pulled dude's wife. I think Jose's right here, though, guys. We haven't been through a recession, but I'll tell you this.
That's what Frank was talking about.
People also said we haven't, when the pandemic crash occurred, we haven't experienced anything like this in crypto. And you know what Bitcoin did? The same thing it's always done during that time. So I agree. We certainly need to be prepared for the unexpected. And that's why I've said that this could be the worst bear market in history. And it's also going to take people from another thing adding to this is how from left field and shocked people are seeing this, even though we told people it was coming, that we were in a massive bear market. So I think Jose does make some good points there. Elon Musk says his takeover of Twitter is on hold. He said he wanted to confirm Twitter's findings that spam and fake accounts make up less than 5% of its users. I think what he's pushing here is that I'm losing weight over Luna.
Yeah, I saw that.
That's a good one. What he said on Twitter, I believe, was like, if it turns out that over 51% of Twitter users are fake, then I think he's going to try to renegotiate a price.
Right. It's a bad buy if half the users are bots.
Absolutely. So
interesting.
About 2 hours after his initial message and after shares in Twitter had fallen about 20% in pre-market trading, he posted again that he's still committed to the acquisition. I think he's just basically pressuring them to come up with, the actual number of spam accounts. Many will view this as Musk using his Twitter filing spam accounts as a way to get out of this deal in a vastly changing market. Now, I don't think that's true. I don't think Elon Musk is thinking of pulling out of this deal.
I think he's giving himself as many options as possible. I don't think he's thinking about pulling out. I think he wants to buy Twitter, but I also think he wants a lot of flexibility, because I think that was a good observation somebody made, that really what he did is buy what was the price? Was it $1 billion or was it $3? I can't remember how much it was. But he
For
basically
Twitter?
for his offer. What was the offer?
$44 billion.
$44 billion.
You said $1 billion?
No, but he only had to put $1 billion down.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so it's basically like an option contract, and if the price goes up, he's making tons of money. If the stock price goes down, he's losing money, but he's still got that option out there for just $1 billion. So he can pump the price up even before he buys it, which is why I think he's coming back and saying, I'm still potentially buying it. I don't want the stock to dump too much. But I agree, he wants to make sure they're on the up and up before he spends $44 billion.
Look at this. Look at this story here.
Oh, yeah.
Texas has declared open season on Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube with censorship law. Texas, oh my gosh, this is huge. I may move to Texas, y'all. How many of y'all want to see me move to Texas?
Which part? I feel like if we moved to Texas, we'd have to go to Austin. That's going downhill so fast.
I don't want to go to Austin.
I don't either.
I'm sorry. Look, y'all, I love y'all. I love people of all political spectrums.
We could do suburbs.
It's just too hippie for me there. I can't
suburbs.
handle it. I like parts of Austin. I enjoy visiting there for sure, but it is just too hippie for me. I can't. Sorry. I got to go to Dallas. Probably Dallas, where I'd end up. Probably over there, over in Fort Worth. Probably where I'd be. Yeah. Anyway. Texas residents can now sue Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube for allegedly censoring their content after a federal appeals court sided Wednesday with a state's law restricting how social media sites can moderate their platforms. Oh, look at all these people wanting me to come on. I tell you what, I moved down to San Antonio. I like San Antonio pretty good. I've been down there to Riverwalk. I like it. Yeah, I went to Air Force Basic Training down there, Lackland Air Force Base down there in San Antonio.
That's a lot of people from Texas in the chat. Look at that.
I got kicked out the day before I graduated for failing my drug test. First day I got there. Sad. Went all the way through boot camp. 6 weeks. It was 6 weeks back then. It wasn't 9. So that was in my previous life, guys. I was 21 years old. But yeah, I like San Antonio. San Antonio is pretty good. North of Dallas for me. Austin's not Texas. A lot of people don't claim it. I do like San Antonio pretty good, though.
I don't mind it. If I was going to live there, I'd probably prefer Dallas-Fort Worth.
Yeah, I mean, that's probably what it is.
You're right on the border in San Antonio.
Yeah, you are. I kind of like that, though.
It is. It's cool. There's upsides.
Okay. All right. Let's see what happens here. Alamo is a good place to visit. I tell you what's cool about the Alamo is all the ghost story stuff. I didn't know. Me and Jay Chains, when we went down there, like he was, living in Austin. We went down there one time and we were talking to one of the ladies that works at the guest or not the guest, the reception there, the tourism, whatever. Mm-hmm. She was telling us about how when she first started, she was telling us personal stories about ghosts that she encountered while she was there.
Wow.
Very creepy stuff. I mean, a lot of people died there,
Yeah.
So.
Tons.
Okay. All right, man. We have got so many Texas people in here. I can't believe how the chat blew up when we started talking about Texas. We love Texas.
Mm-hmm.
Sure, we do love Texas. The law, which seeks to address the perceived imbalance, was blocked in December by a district court judge who ruled it unconstitutional on the First Amendment. Decision came under when a similar law in Florida was blocked for the same reason. We are now in uncharted waters. For as long as the major U.S. social networks have existed, they've been able to lean on Section 230, a liability shield for how platforms handle user-generated content. And guys, do you want to know what the death of Web 2 is? It is when Section 230 is no longer applied to major social media companies. Mm-hmm. This will be the end of Web 2. So if we do see this and this starts happening and this starts occurring, Facebook's able to get sued, Twitter's able to get sued. And I wonder if this might have something to do with what,
very
what Elon Musk is trying to get out. Like maybe he would try to get out if all of a sudden he could buy it and then get sued. Because you can see it now.
Oh, yeah.
You can see it now. Elon Musk comes in, he says, I'm going to reinstate Trump's, account. And then all of a sudden, before you know it, all of the Democrats turn on Twitter. And now they hold Elon Musk accountable for everything that occurs on the platform, saying that they're not a moderator. And then before you know it, he gets sued to not even being a relevant person anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Scary
and that's
stuff.
probably what they're threatening right now.
What did that say about Naomi? Go up. Talk to Naomi. Okay. Yeah, I'll do that. I have his contact. So we'll try to get in touch with him. One option for tech platforms is to halt algorithmic content filtering or ranking entirely. They're talking about shadow banning here. While it's tempting to imagine all social media looking like a clean reverse chronological feed, you can actually find it on Twitter today if you know how to look. It's merely best case scenario, not the likeliest one. So that's a very extremely interesting story. Groups that challenge HB 20 have two obvious options: turn to the Supreme Court directly. So this is really good stuff. Mandy Flory says, can you give an opinion on VeChain? I like VeChain. It's a great coin. We have moved out of VeChain simply for the reason it was one of our last coins that no longer made our list in our portfolio. And it's just because there's just too much geopolitical stuff going on between us and China. It's a Chinese coin, Chinese government.
Supposedly it's been moving out, to, other areas.
Flowing out of China only. Yeah. And if that happens, we could certainly reconsider.
I think they moved their headquarters or something.
Did they? I didn't know that.
I heard.
Okay.
But unconfirmed.
We just feel like there's too much geopolitical tension between the United States and China right now. I do not believe VeChain will have a path to getting on Coinbase unless it does move out of China.
Yes.
So we'll see what we've always loved the tech behind VeChain. We love the people behind VeChain. We love the community for VeChain. It says now they opened a new headquarters in San Marino, Europe. So we'll see what happens. If VeChain is able to kind of break the ties of being tied to the Chinese government, then we would certainly reconsider. But we do love VeChain. It's just, sometimes you got to make some decisions that are bigger than just dollars and cents in your crypto portfolio. And that's what we've done at this point.
Mm-hmm.
So I want to sue YouTube for having too many commercials. Hey, I love premium. I have premium. Whenever I'm on an account that doesn't have premium, I'm like, what is wrong? Like $15 a month to get rid of that? Take it all day, every day. Let's see here. Where are we?
Sam Bankman-Fried.
Robinhood shares spiked 30% after Sam Bankman-Fried buys $650 million stake. You know what that means.
Mm-hmm. Gonna roll it into FTX.
Solana going on Robinhood, FTX, and Robinhood maybe merging at some point.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that's probably the way that if you're Robinhood, you change your image.
Yeah. You get a
rebrand.
You let them take your UX UI, which is very noob friendly, very user friendly, and roll it into crypto, and you're off to the races.
Poor Muggle says YouTube Premium is so worth it. I do believe. Look, I don't like supporting YouTube and making the money, but I've had Premium for a few years, and it was the best thing I ever did. Yeah, literally the best thing. What did it say?
I don't read it out loud. It's just what? What?
The transaction was executed by Emergent Fidelity Technologies, yada, yada, yada. So there you go. XRP, is my XRP people here? Throw the X up. We now have the official name. We bought the domains. We bought the social, or we got the socials squared away yesterday. Not going to tell you what it is yet. We now have a name for the project. It's exciting. Cannot wait. Busting at the seams. Okay. XRP rebounds 20%. Ripple's answer to SEC assertions over him and emails expected today. So we're going to see what the dirty scoundrels have to say about that dirty crook, William Hinman. According to CoinMarketCap, price is up 20%. Yada, yada, yada. We don't care about the price right now. According to defense lawyer James Fallon, yeah, throw that X up. Where's my XRP people at? Who do I have in the finals? I'm going with Warriors over Bucks in the finals. That's what I'm going with. Warriors over Bucks. I can't say the Heat.
I was going to say you definitely can't
say the Heat. The Heat got to lose, or else I'm going to look like an idiot. So I need y'all Heat. I need y'all.
Worst number
one seed ever.
Yeah.
But you did get, look, the Hawks played you pretty tough. We blew that game 5, which really screwed us. Or game 4, which screwed us. We were up by 10 points, and we just totally fell apart. 76ers, you didn't get Embiid for the first 2 games, so you got lucky there. So we'll see what happens. Look, I will gladly eat those words if the Heat win the finals, but I just don't see it happening. According to James Fallon, Ripple defendant's response to SEC's brief asserting the Hinman documents are protected by privilege or due today. They suggest a willingness to proceed to summary judgment without a definitive ruling on the issue. So we're going to see what happens here. But guys, what a great time to get in on XRP. I'm so excited. Once again, I just can't say this enough about where things are going right now. Quick hits. NASDAQ partnering with XP to launch crypto exchange in Brazil. Meta planning cutbacks for the Metaverse Department of Reality Labs. So, we're going to talk about a lot of that tomorrow on the Meta Money show that goes on the BitBoy Crypto channel. So tomorrow at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, tune in, and you guys are going to see a really, really, really cool video where I sit down with Justin and Brian, and we talk about Metaverse and the lack of interest in it. You're definitely going to want to hear this. TZ Apex calling Miles, blockchain will be taught in classrooms in 3 to 5 years. We hope to play a role in that. Bitcoin to the sky. Emirates to accept Bitcoin payments. Bitcoin mining in Norway gets the green light as a proposed ban gets rejected. So sweet. All right, let's go ahead and move on to questions.
All right, let's do some quick Q&A. Hazley Jane, do you think Terra Luna was a distraction or a smokescreen for something else?
No, I think it was the something else. I think I think the government is looking for smokescreens to hide what they did. I do believe look, Janet Fallon Yellen. Why do we call her Janet Fallon Yellen? I believe her. Let's see what it says her net worth is. Let's look this up. Janet Yellen net worth, $20 million. Okay. She made between 8 and 12 million. I can't remember the exact number. Almost 50% of her net worth was created in 2020 when she did Zoom call speeches for banks. Half of her net worth created in a few months. What do you think that is? Those are bribes. Guys, those are bribes to the Treasury Secretary. That's what that is. Those were done before she was appointed because they knew what was going to happen, because you all know they knew what was going to happen in the election. Okay? So the point being here is that this woman has been paid off by the banks. And let me be clear about who this woman is. A lot of people have the idea that she's the Penguin from Batwoman or Batman, but she's not. I want to be clear. These are 2 different people. 2 different people. Also, she is not this. A lot of people think she might be this. A lot of people think this is Janet Yellen. Also, not Janet Fallon Yellen. Do you think the banks would try to bribe that?
No.
No, they're scared of that.
Yeah.
They're scared of that.
That'll take the bribe and turn on them.
Okay, Who do you think Citadel and BlackRock are? They are basically banks. They are basically centralized institutional entities that work hand in hand. There's so much overlap between Fidelity, Morgan Stanley, JP Morgan, BlackRock, Vanguard, that you can't even tell where one company starts and one company ends, okay? Who do you think is responsible for crashing this? The government. And tell me, TJ, what did you say about Tether? About Tether, about how they approached them asking them for their government bonds holdings?
Who? I can't remember.
So
What was the conversation?
someone is claiming that USDT got approached, not the coin, but Tether, the company behind the coin.
Right.
Bitfinex is actually Bitfinex. They got approached and they were asked by the US SEC to expose how many government treasury bonds they held.
Oh, yeah, that's right. And
they said no. They said F off.
Yeah, they said we don't have to. And in that, the new bill they were proposing, that trust, I can't remember what it stood for, the Securities Act for stablecoins, they specifically noted having government bonds within the backing for new stablecoins. And they're going to require it. They're not going to let you run a stablecoin if you don't own bonds to back it.
Nope. So that's what's going on, guys. That is the smokescreen. And somebody said I'm ignoring super chats. I try to hit super chats when I see them.
Yeah.
You guys have to understand, sometimes I'm talking, they come by really quick. I have about a 7-second period where I can see them. And if I can't hit it at that point, then I might just not see it. So
we try to grab
we do try to grab most of them.
And a lot of them, some of them are shills for other projects.
And we're not ever going to reference if it's a shill.
So real quick, will Matic, Solana, and the companies like MicroStrategy survive the bear market?
Yes. All three of those will definitely survive the bear market.
Yes, absolutely. Do you think futures market has killed crypto's original intent?
I would say the derivatives market in general controls everything. So, 2/3 of the money in the world is in the derivatives market. So, no, futures, look, there's this idea that longing and shorting Bitcoin is what makes the price go up or down in general. If that were the case, then every time there would be record numbers of longs or shorts, then it would go the opposite direction, and it doesn't always do that. So no, I don't think the futures kills it at all. I think that what
might have slowed it down. That's what I would say. Like it might.
It needs it. Without having futures, you won't be able to bring as many people in. It's a necessary evil for the market.
Mm-hmm.
There you go.
What would you rather accumulate in the bear market? Gala, Atom, Crow, or Dot?
I don't care about Gala. I don't think Gala's a good coin.
Mm-hmm.
I don't like Gala. I've never owned any Gala. I think it's extremely overblown. I think it's very hype driven. It's very marketing driven. They do a really good job of connecting with influencers and getting them to support it. I just don't think Gala is that great. I think when you have to have like a giant conference to be able to like get people excited about your coin, and you just got to go way over the top, to me, that's not really giving a lot of use cases. I don't think Gala, I don't put it in the same, I would not put Gala in the same breath I would put Atom, CRO, or Dot. If you're asking me for which one of those I would look the most, I think CRO is down the most out of those, I believe. CRO to me is a sure shot. Dot, we have to see how the Janet accepts bribe payments and sardines. I can see that. Dot, it's got to prove its interoperability. I think Dot and Atom are both great as well. But I think when you look at an exchange that already has as many partnerships as CRO and has been under scrutiny, but also has a gigantic lobbying budget, I think you're looking at CRO being the top coin out of those three.
I'd probably take.
It's hard.
I'd probably take Atom and Dot just because I like layer one smart contracts.
I think Dot has the highest potential.
Yeah, I do too.
Out of those three. I think CRO is the surest shot. I think Cosmos is going to be consistently stable as a viable.
If BTC were to drop to low 20s or even 10K, how long do you expect it to stay down there?
If it dropped down to 10K, it'd be there for 30 seconds. Yeah. If it drops below 20K, it depends on what's going on. Guys, here's what you can't factor in. Something that we just saw. You can't factor in a catastrophic collapse of a coin that's unprecedented in the history of crypto. We've never seen anything like this. The closest thing is BitConnect. And these are not remotely similar. Okay? Only similarity is the fact they both dropped. So what I would tell you is, I don't think it'll be below either one for long. but there could be something that could, happen that we're not counting on. So, guys, thank you so much for watching today. I will be back, not today on the show. I'm on Miss Teen Crypto, I think, later today, if you guys want to catch me there. Someone will be sitting in for me on Around the Blockchain, but we got some videos for you guys tomorrow. Big cycle video out tomorrow at 6, Meta Money video out tomorrow at 11, and then a phone record. And we got a new special BitBoy Crypto vlog starting on Sunday. We'll premiere every Sunday at 6 o'clock. So, all right, guys, thank you so much for watching. Guys, listen, be blessed, BitBoy out.